Where's my whale?
Oh, fuck.
Oh my God.
Right. So what happened? You're fighting over a girl, a boy, honor. What? Why?
We can't talk about it.
Can't talk about it.
Oh. Okay. So what's that? Yeah, it's Fight Club.
It's Fight Club.
Wait, so it's been 25 years since Fight Club came out. Why is it still...
Fight Club is relevant today as there's much violence in our society.
You think that's what the movie's about?
No.
Okay, so what do you...
Yeah, what do you think?
What is it
Oh
about?
my God. I didn't think we were going to jump into this question that quick.
Okay, what did you want to talk about first?
Can I spoil? At the end, they're delinquents, but they're erasing people's debt, and it's a bad thing for a good thing.
I think it's relevant because I think we have a very consumer-based mindset, like a need to get like the next new thing.
He calls it the nesting instinct, where it's like you're just going to fill up your house with IKEA furniture, like things out of catalog, because you just need to get things. It's not even things that you're ever going to use, but you're just somewhere at the bottom of your brainstem. It's just telling you, I need stuff.
Yeah.
And then like the corporate nature of society is like, oh, we'll take advantage of that. I'll sell you something. And it creates this pressure that is in a way anti-human or like,
Wow.
right? Or
Yeah, I'd say
agree.
that's true. So Ed Norton, his whole life right now is pretty vapid because all he really does is goes to work, has a ton of insomnia.
He's really discontent with his life.
You need to lighten up.
Can you please just give me something?
he's not fulfilled, but he doesn't know why. And where he first finds relief is the support groups.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, and he just is sort of a tourist going through a bunch of different ones.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just getting support for something that he doesn't even know what it is yet.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we meet Marla.
I'm going to be quite honest, I'm really not a fan of Marla.
So what's your problem with Marla?
I don't know. She was just kind of there and annoying. I was like, not really. I was feeling like, why can't this woman be gone?
I think the reason why Marla is perceived as annoying is because we're seeing it through Ed Norton's point of view. Because Marla is a character who is just openly herself, I think, and that definitely contradicts Edward Norton's, like, him just not actually being who he is and just being like a consumer and not actually who he's meant to be. So I think there's a part of him that just doesn't like Marla because she has the ability just to be, or she's already at rock bottom. She just simply is.
Well, she's also the only woman in the entire movie.
Yeah.
It's all masculinity. It's like they're not in touch with their feminine side at all. And when it gets introduced, when a woman shows up, he immediately hates her. She's a problem. He doesn't like that she sort of echoes what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right, because we're in his point of view, the first time you watch it, you're like, why is she acting like this? She's like so weird. But go back and think about those scenes now from the perspective of the fact that he's completely insane, right? And I think you would be a lot more sympathetic.
Yeah, he's not a great guy.
No. So the way he reacts to this woman being introduced is he can't handle it. He hates her. He can't admit that maybe there's an attraction or anything. And so he has to create an alter ego, which, of course, the first time you watch it, you don't know that's what's happening. You think that Brad Pitt's a real person.
Yeah.
But, like, that's why he enters the movie. I think it's a reaction to Marla.
Shit.
Yeah, so then
Are we blowing your mind right now?
He's still kind of processing everything, I think.
Wait, so you think that he was so attracted to Marla that he created Tyler?
No, it's not all about
I think
attraction.
Tyler was there before.
But I
think Marla.
But like, it is an overreaction to like a woman being introduced. Like his version of being a man can't handle it. He doesn't know how to treat her, and he just hates her and wants her to go away.
Yeah.
And then Brad Pitt comes in to kind of be like a different version of a man.
Even more masculine.
So Brad Pitt is overly masculine, but it's sort of this reaction where like he feels he's been demasculated, or I don't know how you say that, but like the support group he starts at, emasculated?
I think it's some.
How do you say you've been unmasculated?
We can just say unmasked. We're fine. I think we have the point.
But like the support group he's going to at first is testicular cancer.
Yeah.
There's this constant threat of like, you're going to lose your testicles.
Yeah, then there's Bob and he literally has boobs.
Yeah, Brad Pitt is a reaction against that. It's like, okay, you're not going to take my balls. In fact, I'm going to be the ballsiest man I can be.
Yeah.
Here he is.
But also, I think the way that Tyler Durden's, like Brad Pitt's character is built up is very hypocritical, because he says, like, let go of everything, and he has all these, like, extravagant clothes and stuff like that. He makes fun of people who like go to the gym and work out, and Brad Pitt just has an insane body.
Yeah.
Like so much so that every other person who wants to be in a movie, I watched an interview with Rob from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and where he wanted that body. Like it's
That's why he did that show.
He worked out, and when he was working out, he thought of Brad Pitt and he wanted to be Brad Pitt.
He has a picture of Brad Pitt in his gym.
I was trying to figure out just like the philosophy in general of Tyler Durden, and there are a bunch of different like videos online and stuff like that about it. There was like this one great comment that put it in a way that I was trying to get. They called it Buddhism with balls.
Okay,
explain. Because that's the way they described it, and I thought that kind of like worked perfectly, because there's just so many different aspects, like nuggets of wisdom that he just kind of pulls out of nowhere, like during the soap scene, during the car scene, during just the bar at first. It's like when he's talking about losing everything, he just goes, "Yeah, what now?" And it's like what you have basically owns you and stuff like that.
You can buy into the things he's saying as like wisdom or not, like because it all could be frat guy like logic, where
Sure.
it like here's an overly simplified masculine way to phrase this thing to make it simple and easy to understand. But or maybe sometimes, this actually could be wisdom.
Because it's kind of like just the way that he kind of pulls stuff out. It kind of comes out of nowhere at first. Like when he's burning his hand with the soap, like that entire sequence is just pure, just like be here now in the moment.
Yeah,
And don't escape, don't go away.
But a toxic version of it, right?
A totally toxic version where it's completely dangerous. That's why I think they fight, because when people are fighting, you're in the moment, you're in the now. It's in, like he says, no shoes, no shirts, so it's an equal playing ground. There's no real crowned winner. There's no real like ranking system. It's just people, I think, just trying to get in the moment and feel something like different, because they've just been feeling nothing for like a majority of their lives.
So I think it starts with the fight, and you're like, maybe this might be a good solution, or it might not, but it's an extreme reaction.
They seem to enjoy it.
But then if you're like, okay, let's keep going with this energy. Where's it going to go? Where it's not just a couple of men fighting, but let's make the group bigger, and it becomes more of a cult, and then it turns.
And then it gets corporate funding, and that's like the point where it's just like, okay, well, this is just.
So it becomes it's like not just self-destructive, but now I'm just going to destroy all of society, because that's how they get to the point where they can blow up
that's the natural conclusion I think Ed Norton's character came to when he was thinking about where Tyler goes.
Yeah.
At what point is Tyler just gonna stop there at Fight Club? No, he's a guy that wants to break down society, because that's the persona he's created it for him.
So we haven't covered everything, but I think we've touched on most of the main themes that shaped the whole thing. So I'm curious, since you just watched it for the first time, is there anything you're still figuring out, or anything that felt really weird or cool during the first watch?
I didn't even suspect it all until the twist that he was Tyler. And I was just like, what? It kind of reminded me of like Memento or like Shutter Island or something, or I was like,
man, Shutter Island came after this, and Shutter Island sucks. And the ending is so predictable. I can't believe it's on anyone's list.
I think it's way better than.
It's so okay. I'm not.
I think it's
why.
But
we'll do Shutter Island in another. Well, actually, we're never going to talk about Shutter Island again. Let's come back to Fight Club.
Okay.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah, but it was just a pretty good movie. Yeah.
Hello?
I haven't seen you at any support groups.
When I think about the effect that Marla had, I think about the scene where Brad Pitt's in the bathtub and he's got the towel over his face, and he's talking about how Ed Norton has like a lack of a father figure to teach him like valuable lessons and be like just a father figure in his life. And Brad Pitt says something along the lines of, we're a generation of men raised by women. I'm wondering if another woman is what we need. I think by the end of that, he's completely subverted that because he's holding on to Marla's hand, and like Marla is there to help him, and I think that's just kind of a literal arc.
Are we still at school?
I don't know.
Feels weird.
The vibes are off.
Do you hear that?
Let's go.
In the movie, all the energy ends up being like, very symbolically like under a bar in a basement. It's like in a subconscious zone in a bar, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where all the men, get their wiggles out. Or I would just
get the okay.
But today, I feel like those men exist online in different men's groups.
Because that literally is, because if you think about what they're trying to say that you need to get more stuff, you need to be more successful and get more money so you can get like cars and stuff like that. That literally is just trying to fix the problem by throwing other stuff at it instead of doing the work and actually like figuring out why exactly you feel this way.
I feel like with a lot of the different groups and a lot of the different perspectives online, there's always like a kernel of truth in there where they're reacting against something that's real, but then they just tunnel vision in on their solution.
Yeah.
And they just put all their energy behind one thing where they do not see the whole picture. And which is what the movie is about, right? Like, let's just reject Marla. Let's just deal with masculinity.
It
turns out that's not the solution.
It isn't, no. And that's the whole part about Project Mayhem.
Yeah.
Because the way that
there's no women in Project Mayhem.
The way that the actual group goes, it starts from people just beating each other up in like bars. And the way that it goes into a literal cult.
In death, a member of Project Mayhem has a name. His name is Robert Paulson. His name is Robert Paulson.
I think the entire point of Brad Pitt's character is that he is just him. He's just being himself, and he's free because he's comfortable with him.
Well, he's a more pure version of whatever that energy is.
Exactly.
That doesn't have the whole picture, but at least it's pure and it knows what it wants.
And then he's a necessary part for Tyler Durden to figure that out and figure out what he actually needs. But because everyone else doesn't have that picture, they just latch on to Tyler. They latch on to this character who's a myth. He becomes mythical. He is like he's facial reconstruction surgery every 3 years. And like he's like insane.
And I think that works, and that's still true today. And the reason the groups online work and everything is because like they're diagnosing a real problem or a real feeling that men have. Mm-hmm. And then in the movie, there's like men all over the country are like, yeah, I feel this. Like there is something going on, and I need to join this group. And obviously that becomes a huge problem by the end of the movie, where everyone's in the club.
If we want to go back to the Buddhism idea, there's an idea, or it's in Buddhism, it's called kill the Buddha. And what that means is that because Buddha is like, when you think about Buddhism, you think about Buddha, and he isn't actually a god, like in the actual religion. He's just a figure that he was the one that started this like act of transformation, but he isn't meant to be worshipped as a god.
Well, does kill the Buddha mean like first you have to kill your father, then you have to kill your mentor? Mm-hmm. Symbolically, it's like you have to
just let go of them,
surpass them, or like let go, I guess.
Yes, let go, and that's the whole point of let go.
Your voice in my head.
Your voice in mine.
You're a fucking hallucination. Why can't I get rid of you?
You need me.
I can figure this out. This isn't even real. You're not real. The gun is. The gun is even in your hand. The gun's in my hand.
Hey, good for you. Doesn't change the thing.
I have a question for you guys. I think, Fight Club's very flawed, but would you rather be participating in a Fight Club now or solve all your problems online?
That's actually a good question.
It's a fairly good. I never want to be a part of that, because that entire, oh my god, I would rather be fighting because at least I'm outside doing stuff.
The problem with me is like I'm old, and if I get in a fight club, I'll be dead, or at least my back will be broken after the first night.
You can tap out whenever.
But it's like that compared to only existing online. Like that's a real dilemma.
That's cruel. That's not living. If you're online constantly, that's not. You have to go out and do stuff. And I think there is a moment in the actual Fight Club. These people are feeling, pain and they're getting hurt, but that eventually will that could lead them if they use it properly to something that is like a deeper healing. If they use that as like a moment that they feel alive, they can then go back and think about like, why haven't I been feeling alive this entire time? But I think the issue is that they go deeper and deeper into like this. But I'd say the Fight Club ends up being like an addiction, because it just becomes them just fighting each other, and then it becomes their entire lives, and they just become this entity instead of being themselves. And I think the same stuff happens online as people, like, all their hatred and all their sadness goes into one huge, like, just mega blob of insecurity and pain. Because there's just so much stuff they don't resolve. Brad Pitt says in the movie, I think, is like self-improvement is masturbation, now self-destruction. I think you need to kind of break yourself down, not like physically, but like emotionally and mentally, just the things that you've gone through, and break down why it made you feel that way and how you end up and how you can move on from that with that experience and the lessons that you needed to learn and keep on going.
How do you guys deal today with the toxic masculine energy inside you?
I mean,
besides the Fight Club.
Very recently, I've been dealing with a lot of my own pain as a person and just the self-hatred aspect of it all. And so just trying to go through that, I try to meditate, I try to just journal now, because I think writing gives you a lot of like perspective. And I know that all these emotions that I'm feeling, like where I feel angry and I feel hatred towards like a lot of other people, it doesn't necessarily mean that it should be expressed towards them. There are other ways of expressing this in which people don't get hurt, in which you can effectively look at it and figure out, why did I feel this way?
And I feel like it's sort of your responsibility to figure that out, to release that pressure, so it doesn't turn into something like this where it gets misdirected and like you just try to
I think that's the duty of every single person. It's not just a duty to the common good, it's a duty to yourself. Because when you work on yourself and you're trying to figure out like what's going on with myself, that in and of itself does not just affect you, it affects everyone else around you. Because you're a more open person, you're more kind. Just once you realize just how much hate you've been given to yourself and how much you've been expressed, and you just try to realize that that's just such a toxic and horrible thing, hatred and anger. When I'm hurt, it's not toxic to feel emotions. I'm not a weak man because I feel emotions.
Wow.
I'm nothing along those lines, and I can cry, and I feel good when I cry.
Can you cry? Are you dealing with it?
I'm a big Goggins guy, David Goggins. So I haven't been crying.
What does that mean? That means you run until your feet fall off?
I carry the boat. I run until my feet fall off.
Every day, run over 20 miles a day, getting up early, going to bed early, eating the right shit.
It's a different type of mentality.
It might be a solution. I don't know. I don't know if that's better than
that's
journaling.
Just will and discipline,
or meditating.
I guess, yeah. And that's just, yeah.
No, I cry, Yeah.
I don't believe you.
This movie didn't make me cry.
So this movie came out in 1999, which I argue, of course, is the last year that there was any art. And then since then, just everything has fallen apart. Of course, you don't have to say anything.
Wrong.
I think everyone agrees with me. There's literally never been a good piece of art that came out during your lifetime. It all came out during my childhood, and now art is dead. So let's go back to 1999, the last great year. All right. So the first question, if you know the answer, punch in. The top grossing movie of 1999, this is worldwide gross. A, The Matrix. B, The Sixth Sense. C, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. D, Toy Story 2.
Oh my God. Star Wars Episode 1. I don't know, let's go a lot of nerds.
Your answer is C, Star Wars Episode 1.
C.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
Correct. Episode 1 grossed $924 million and was the beginning of the end for Star Wars.
I would, yeah.
All right, second question. Of these shows, which did not debut in 1999? SpongeBob SquarePants, Cowboy Bebop,
Oh my god.
The Sopranos, or Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Which show did not debut in 1999?
The Sopranos?
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
No.
What is it?
They all came out in 1999 except for Cowboy Bebop. Came out in 1998.
Oh, that's
which we watched, and it says the year at the bottom of the intro every time, so you could have figured that out. All right, let's move on to video games. According to Metacritic, what is the best rated game of 1999? A, Super Smash Brothers. B, Silent Hill. C, Final Fantasy VIII, the best Final Fantasy. Or D, Soul Calibur.
I'm assuming it's going to be Final Fantasy VIII.
Final answer?
Final answer?
No, the world is wrong. Final Fantasy VIII has a 90. Soul Calibur has a 98%.
Soul Calibur?
Yeah. No one remembers Soul Calibur. It was a Dreamcast game. Dreamcast doesn't even... Do you know what that is? No one does. This last round is a bit of a speed round. We're moving on to music. I'm only going to play a few seconds. You guys punch in if you think this song was popular or debuted in 1999. You ready?
Okay.
Okay.
Are we in 1999?
1999.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one punched in. Boom.
Fuck.
Marcus gets the point.
1999.
No. Not 1999.
You buzzed?
I buzzed.
You lost your point. That's 2001. Moulin Rouge came out in 2001. No,
I did, but I technically was on it first. He slapped
if
my
he
hand
if he
with
beat
big beefy
wait,
hands.
you were there first?
I was on there first. We can check the recordings.
All right.
Somebody
Last one.
told me the word.
No.
We're not in 1999?
No, I can't remember now.
We are.
We are in 1999. And the winner is nobody because you're completely insane.
No.
Yeah.
Wait, Cowboy Bebop was released in 1998?
Like she doesn't care.
It's because she just is. So you find her annoying, eh?
Hey. Welcome back.
Marcus? 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 No!
Chili. What do you think I am?
Justice? What is this? These are my wings. My airplane. These pieces of us. Our cherished stories.
And Kylie's brain?
We think we own them. But somewhere along the line, they start to own us too. Where's Diane's whale? It's time for justice.